Ain't this playoffs just amazing? Like, I feel like as fans, we've really been spoiled during this playoffs. It's been one of the best so far. This second round, we got two matchups tonight. That's 2-2, and yesterday we have two that are 3-1 now. The Lakers are 3-1 up on the Warriors, and it looks like they're gonna close out because through all the adjustments the Warriors have made, all the different lineup changes, they don't seem to have a recipe to stop the Lakers. And honestly, it's hard to stop the Lakers because their role players, their depth as a team, it's crazy. You have one night, Austin Reeves going crazy. I think this was the last series. He hasn't really shown up this series, but don't worry. You've had D'Lo show up this series. You've had Rui show up this series. And now, most recently, we've had Lonnie Walker show up. Lonnie Walker, we haven't talked about him all playoffs because he really hasn't had his opportunity to show up for the team. But now they needed him. They needed a spark off the bench, and he pulled up after playing the first couple quarters. This fourth quarter, 15 points in the fourth. What can the Warriors do? The Warriors are not game planning to stop that. You know what I mean? They made AD struggle to a degree. He didn't have the same impact he did on these past games where he really thrived. LeBron had a great game, but not the best efficiency. And Russell, Vanderbilt weren't the best. Reeves really pulled up this game, but Lonnie Walker, when it all mattered in the fourth quarter, he's the reason why the Lakers won. The Warriors, they couldn't stop that. Really, they still could have won, but for some reason, they have a habit of taking really unneeded threes in down the stretch that just put their team in the mud. Clay took two threes, which wasn't needed. They were down by one, I'm pretty sure. All they needed was 2 points. But no, I'm going to go up the court and just pull up. He really wanted to put the Warriors' foot on the Lakers' neck. But when you miss those opportunities, it just looks bad on your point because you had time to get a better look, but you settled. The Lakers they wouldn't like Clay taking a spot up three, but he had two people on him sometimes, and he just thought that I'm gonna pull up, and it didn't work out. When it doesn't work out, it looks bad. So the Warriors, man, 2 games that really slipped through their hands because their shooters wanted to just to put it all on themselves and just carry the team out, and there was no need. So the Lakers win again. They're going back to Golden State for Game 5, and I feel like they're gonna close out because they don't want to play around with their food. They know this Denver Sun series can go to 7. They're gonna want the break. I feel like the Warriors needed to get a win in these past 2 games, and because they didn't, they're gonna live to regret that. Y'all watching, like, subscribe the video, help a brother out, help the channel. Yeah. Also, what was Draymond thinking in that last play? For real, like he just went down, was up in the air, had to make a pass, and there was no play developing. It just looked scrappy. It just looked like he had no option. They maybe made a play, and then when things didn't go right, he still stuck with it, and it didn't work out. And then Steph ended up getting the ball, and he wanted to ISO AD twice in a row because the first time failed. Let me try again. Didn't work out the second time, and they still had a lifeline because somehow they ended up with the jump ball situation. And in the jump ball, the Warriors got possession again for a split second, but then I don't know, Curry fell down and he needed to just get the ball out of his hands. There wasn't a lot of time left, and he just threw it to nobody. It just looks worse than I bet what it actually was. No one knows what was going through his head and how that happened, but it just looked like they froze up. I don't know, maybe not froze up the word, but they just capitulated for real. They had so many chances. The Warriors had so many chances to still win this game, and the Lakers pulled through. They're gonna live to regret this game, man. To how it ended, and yeah, big up to the Lakers. They stuck in. They were resilient throughout the whole game, and now they got the flowers to. They got the they got the win in the end. That's all that matters. So yeah, let's see how the next game goes. Heat versus Knicks. I really have one thing to say about this game. How from the first series, the Knicks were amazing at offensive rebounding. Mitchell Robinson, people were praising his name like no tomorrow. And just, we really seen them beat the Cavs down because they were able to suck out all the air from any energy the Cavs had with offensive rebounding. And now somehow they got the tables turned on them by a smaller team is able to out rebound them to a big degree. Honestly, watching the game, it just seemed like anytime the Knicks put so much effort in on the defensive end, they get a stop. But when that ball hit that rim, why is it a Heat player getting it every time? It made it seem like they had all the effort to get the stop, to then no effort to finish the play and get the rebound, which killed them. That honestly is what killed them this game, because Jimmy didn't have an insane game as he normally does. The role players, a lot of the role players stepped up. Bam stepped up. Bam had one of his best games. But the Knicks, like, I really look at the game and I'm like, if the Knicks rebounded better, they're in the game. But no, it's the Heat win again, 3-1, and the Knicks must feel like it's out of their reach. They had it so nice the first series. They didn't have to deal with any adversity. They're either up or tied, and now they're down 3-1. It seems like they're going to have to make drastic changes, but what drastic change can they make? I don't see nothing. Quickly, it would be nice if he showed up for the Knicks, because he has been one of their best players in the season, and then he's just been a no-show in these playoffs. Julius Randle needs to be better. He hasn't had a signature Julius Randle game. He hasn't put the team on his back one time. Brunson's getting all the attention. He's doing what he can do. Barrett's still performing. But it don't seem like they got enough to beat this Heat team, which is surprising, because who knew we would be so confident in this Heat team before the playoffs started? Seeding, I guess, don't matter. This playoffs is making it seem like series don't matter, when it looks like an 8th seed and the 7th seed will make it to the conference final. Let's not talk too early. That's how it's looking like it's gonna go. You never know in the NBA, though. Crazy comebacks can be made, but the Heat are in a great position, and I feel like it's hard to believe that they're gonna drop the ball so bad to let the Knicks back in it. So the Heat either in 5 or 6. We'll see. Now the games tonight. 76ers vs Boston. James Harden needs to continue doing what he's doing. Every good game he's had, they won. It seems like it's that simple, even though it's not, because the 2 games they won, he went crazy, and he's had a game-winning 3. So hopefully they don't have to rely on such a close game for them to have a chance to be in it, because it seems like when Boston wins, Boston really kills them. I guess they just have to hope that they stay in the game. They just have to keep their heads up, stay in the game, because it seems like down the stretch they have the edge on the Celtics. For whatever reason, I really felt like the Celtics had this series. After they won game 2 and game 3, I thought it was over. But then James Harden said, I'm gonna go back in the past to game 1, bring that game 1 self back to game 4, and he gonna perform. He performed. He was the best player on the court. And ain't that a breath of fresh air? James Harden, the best player on the court. It's amazing. With Joel Embiid, with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, we're talking about James Harden. Big up to the beard. Big up to the beard. But yeah, this game 5, I feel like This is a very important game for both teams. Boston's at home. Philly has the momentum, and I feel like it's going to be a real dogfight. A lot of big egos are going to want to prevail, going to want to show themselves this game. I can't wait to watch it. I don't even want to make no predictions. I just want to enjoy the game, but I need to see the Celtics be more consistent. They're such a consistent team, and the fact that they show it in stretches but not all the time in the playoffs, it's kind of worrying because I feel like they're everyone's favorite that's still in the playoffs, but I feel like you can't be as confident as you would have been like a week ago with them. But we'll see. But the last series, Denver Nuggets versus Phoenix Suns. The last game was probably the best game of the playoffs altogether. We had Jokic dropping plus 50. We had Devin Booker 20 out of 25 shooting. Probably one of the craziest performances I've seen from someone. This man really, what the Warriors do down the stretch, that I hate, that really lost them the game. Devin Booker is doing, but he's performing. So it's like, what can I say? He will dribble up the court and just pull up in a man's face like he's not there. Swish, don't touch no rim. That net barely moving. It's just beautiful. How is this man playing so ridiculous this playoffs? He's the best player in the playoffs, not even close. Denver's gonna hate that they let Phoenix back in this. Who knew that the Phoenix Suns would look so good without Chris Paul? So I feel very confident in them in this game because even with Jokic getting 50 points, the Suns looked in the game the whole time and they won. So this, to me, is the biggest game of the playoffs so far. None of these teams are going to want to lose this game because I feel like whoever wins this game is going to be the winner of the series. Devin Booker has to continue just doing what he's doing. And the bench, Kevin Durant, he can pick it up a game if he wants to, let Devin Booker relax a game. KD can go crazy. We haven't had a crazy KD game yet, so that's incoming. But the role players for the Suns have really stepped it up. Landry Shamet, who knew we'd be praising his name too. It seems like the playoffs, the role players are very important. I think this playoffs is showing that how important the role players can really sway a series in one team's favor. I can't wait to watch this game too. Jokic is probably gonna have another crazy game. Jamal Murray needs to step it up because he was incredible game one, and ever since then, no one has really been praising his name because he's been really not a passenger, but he hasn't been showing what we know he can do in the playoffs. So he needs to do that for his team. And yeah, I'm glad Jokic ain't suspended. That moment was hilarious. The Suns owner want to hold on to the ball. Everyone knows what he's doing. He wants to hold it on, don't want to let Phoenix get a fast break. I understand it, you know what I mean? And I completely understand why Jokic gave him a little, because I want the fast break. I want the ball. Maybe Jokic don't even know who he is. I gonna grab that. You gonna touch me? I gonna let you know don't do that. But yeah, I'm happy no one got suspended. You just gotta pay some money, but this man rich, that's okay. But yeah, this game 5, this game day is gonna be ridiculous. Again, for maybe the third time, I can't wait to watch. And I love basketball, man. Done.